I'm Dan Wolf. Thanks for joining us. We're learning much more tonight about the events that led up to that dangerous pursuit last night on Highway 61 involving a suspect and several law enforcement agencies. This bystander video from last night shows 31-year-old Frederick Sievert leading police on a high-speed chase up and down Highway 61 between Duluth and Two Harbors. Sievert, who was in the black SUV, was eventually arrested after driving into a gravel pit and getting stuck just outside Duluth. It was then he got out with his shotgun, but put it down and was taken to a hospital for a mental health evaluation and then jail. Fred Sievert now faces several felony charges. He was already well known to law enforcement prior to this incident due to mental health related issues in the past. Now Sievert's parents are speaking out, saying it's been difficult getting him the help he needs. Northern News Now's Cara Kopp spoke with them today.
Frederick Sievert was known as a kind-hearted boy in high school while attending Duluth East.
He was sociable, he got along with everybody, and when he got out of school that summer, it was like a switch went off.
That's when he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
It's heartbreaking. It's like it's someone else that's taking over his brain.
Sievert's parents quickly got Fred the help he needed, but his violent outbursts continued over the years. Last week, they said they called the cops on Fred at least 3 times while searching for a treatment facility to place him in. And on Thursday, Fred allegedly got physical with his father.
And I told him, I won't hit you. I won't defend myself. And he reared back and he smacked me a really good punch. And my wife was standing there. And then he rushed me and choked me, and he kicked me. I've got bruises all over my legs.
The Sieverts said they called 911, but claimed Duluth Police said that they wouldn't help Howard file charges against his son, and that the incident didn't happen. That's when Fred allegedly took off with his parents' black SUV, firing a shotgun and leading officers on a high-speed chase.
After you hear about all of the shootings going on and people that are mentally ill, I can see why it's happening.
The family saying this entire situation could have been avoided if there were enough resources available for their son. That issue is clear to several Northland mental health facilities, seeing a steady increase in the mental health crisis.
There's definitely been like an increase for children experiencing like mental health crisis, and we've been seeing it at like younger and younger ages as well.
But in cases like Fred's, having to look for resources at an older age can be much more difficult.
The more they have access to like what resources are available, the more likely they are to like reach out.
Sievert's family proof that the mental health epidemic impacts far more people than those who need help. And while they say they respect Duluth police officers, they are disappointed in how things played out on Thursday.
But the one time I wanted him, needed him, they absolutely wouldn't help me. And I feel really let down.
In Duluth, Cara Kopp, Northern News Now.
Now, we did reach out to DPD for this story. They provided us with a statement and their timeline of events leading up to the gun incident and pursuit Thursday. And they say on Wednesday, officers were called by Sievert's family concerned about his behavior. Sievert was then detained and taken to a hospital where he was placed on a 72-hour hold. But less than 24 hours later, yesterday morning, police say Sievert's father called them saying his son had been released from the hospital and that he picked him up. This is where the two sides' stories conflict. While Sievert tells us his son attacked him and he reported it to police, police tell us there was no allegation of any new behavior to warrant officer action. Well, then police say around 5:30 yesterday evening, they were called to the Sievert home due to escalating behavior, but then were called off with the family saying Fred had calmed down. And minutes later, Fred allegedly left and went on his crime spree. Now, for the Duluth Police Department's full statement, you can visit our website. According to the Minnesota Department of Human Resources, mental health facilities statewide are serving more than 1,200 people per year, but many facilities are in urgent need of repairs and remain closed until funding can be secured. Duluth city leaders say to call 988 if you're dealing with someone who needs mental health resources and is nonviolent. If there are threats to safety, call 911.